Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, your money doesn't stretch, your plans fall apart, or unexpected expenses keep draining your income? You might be doing everything right on the outside, but still struggling to see the barakah, or divine blessing, in your rizq. The truth is, rizq isn't just about effort, it's deeply tied to our actions, intentions, and spiritual state. Sometimes, it's not what we're not doing, but what we're unintentionally doing wrong that blocks our sustenance. In this video, we'll uncover 7 hidden mistakes that silently drain your rizq without you even realizing it. These aren't just financial missteps, they're spiritual traps that can rob you of peace, progress, and provision. And mistake number 5, it's incredibly common, and dangerously underestimated. Watch closely, reflect deeply, and see which of these you might be falling into. Because awareness is the first step toward unlocking lasting barakah. 1. Backbiting. A silent destroyer of rizq. Backbiting, or ghibah, is more than just a social flaw, it is a spiritual poison that corrodes your rizq without leaving a visible trace. When you speak ill of someone behind their back, even if it's true, you engage in an act that Allah strongly condemns in the Quran. It's likened to eating the flesh of your dead brother, an image meant to shock the heart into self-awareness. This sin doesn't just damage relationships, it drains the unseen blessings in your life. Rizq isn't only about money, it includes peace, opportunities, and inner contentment. Backbiting plants seeds of negativity that return to you in the form of lost barakah. You may find yourself struggling financially, feeling spiritually blocked, or watching your efforts fail despite hard work. Moreover, the angels tasked with recording good deeds may transfer your rewards to the person you've spoken against, while their sins may be placed on your record. This spiritual transaction silently erodes your rizq and spiritual capital. Avoiding backbiting strengthens your soul, purifies your speech, and allows blessings to flow uninterrupted. Choosing silence, changing the subject, or defending the absent person are ways to guard your tongue and protect your rizq. 2. Ingratitude. Closing the doors to blessings. Ingratitude is a subtle yet powerful way people unknowingly block their rizq. When the heart focuses more on what is missing rather than what has been given, it cultivates a mindset of scarcity. This negative outlook not only affects your emotional well-being but also your spiritual connection to Allah, the true source of all provision. Allah promises in the Quran, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase you." Surah Ibrahim 14:7. This increase includes not only wealth but also peace, health, and opportunities. When someone constantly complains, overlooks small blessings, or compares their life to others with jealousy, they send a signal of dissatisfaction with Allah's decree. Over time, this can result in blessings being withheld or removed altogether. Gratitude, on the other hand, opens doors to abundance. It's not just about saying, Alhamdulillah, but about living with appreciation, using your time, wealth, and health wisely, and recognizing even the smallest mercies. One practical way to shift from ingratitude is to regularly list your blessings and reflect on how far you've come. A heart trained to notice blessings becomes a magnet for more. Gratitude is not just a virtue, it's a direct cause of sustained and growing rizq. 3. Delaying Salah. Weakening the channel of rizq. Delaying Salah intentionally is not just a matter of time management, it reflects a deeper issue of misplaced priorities and weak spiritual discipline. Salah is the most direct link between a servant and their Creator. When that link is delayed or treated casually, it disrupts the flow of divine assistance and provision in one's life. Each prayer has its appointed time, and observing it promptly reflects submission and respect toward Allah's commands. Delaying it until the end of its time or combining prayers out of laziness sends a message that worldly concerns take precedence over divine instruction. This imbalance creates spiritual stagnation, which can manifest in real-world struggles, blocked opportunities, unexplained stress, or a feeling of constant lack, despite effort. Timely prayer is also a form of discipline. It trains the soul to submit and builds a mindset that keeps Allah at the center of every action. This consciousness brings barakah into your time, work, and sustenance. Many people notice that when they prioritize Salah, things align more smoothly in their day, and provision flows in ways they didn't expect. Consistency in prayer, especially observing it on time, is one of the most powerful ways to unlock hidden rizq and restore spiritual clarity. 4. Stinginess. blocking the flow of divine generosity. Stinginess, or bukhel, is a trait that not only hardens the heart but also restricts the flow of rizq in a person's life. Islam teaches that wealth is a trust from Allah, and we are merely caretakers of it. When someone withholds from giving, whether it's charity, helping family, or simply being generous, they are closing the door through which blessings could have entered. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Charity does not decrease wealth, Muslim." This profound truth reminds us that giving is not a loss, it's an investment. When a person refuses to spend in good causes out of fear of becoming poor, they are in fact choosing scarcity over abundance. Stinginess breeds a mindset of fear, and that fear can spiritually and materially choke the inflow of provision. True rizq isn't only about accumulation, it's about how much good comes from what you have. A generous person may have less in numbers but far more in barakah. Their wealth stretches, their needs are met, and their hearts remain content. To overcome stinginess, start small, help a neighbor, support a local cause, or share a meal. Every act of generosity invites Allah's mercy and multiplies your rizq in unexpected, beautiful ways. 5. Breaking family ties, a hidden barrier to rizq. Severing ties with family members, whether out of anger, ego, or neglect, is one of the most dangerous and overlooked causes of blocked rizq. Islam places great importance on silat ar-rahim, maintaining kinship, and those who cut off these ties are warned of serious consequences, both in this life and the next. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Whoever wishes to have his provision expanded and his life extended, let him uphold the ties of kinship." Bukhari and Muslim. This shows a direct link between family relations and the flow of sustenance. When you break contact with relatives, especially parents, siblings, or close kin, you are turning away from one of the strongest channels through which Allah sends barakah. Often, people hold grudges for years over misunderstandings, inheritance issues, or personal differences, not realizing that this emotional rift can lead to spiritual and material consequences. Reconnecting with family, even with a simple message, call, or visit, can soften hearts and reopen the doors of blessings. Mending ties may feel difficult, especially if the hurt runs deep. But taking the first step with sincerity not only heals relationships, it renews divine favor and invites rizq in ways the heart never imagined. 6. Dishonesty in business, earning without barakah. Dishonesty in business dealings is a silent rizq killer that many overlook in the pursuit of profit. Whether it's through lying about a product, hiding defects, manipulating prices, or breaking verbal agreements, any form of deceit contaminates earnings and strips them of blessing. In Islam, business is not just a worldly transaction, it is a moral and spiritual test. The Prophet Muhammad said, "The truthful and trustworthy merchant will be with the prophets, the truthful, and the martyrs." Tirmidhi. This highlights the honor given to honest traders. On the flip side, deceitful behavior in trade invites Allah's displeasure and can cause a person's wealth to become a source of hardship instead of ease. You might gain temporary success through dishonest means, but that wealth often comes with hidden losses, stress, mistrust, damaged reputation, or even unexpected financial setbacks. True rizq is not measured by how much you earn, but how pure and beneficial that income is. Being truthful in all transactions, even when it's hard, builds trust, attracts loyal customers, and invites divine support. Choose integrity over short-term gain, and you'll find that rizq flows not only in your finances, but also in peace of mind and long-term stability. 7. Lack of tawakkul, relying solely on yourself. A lack of tawakkul, trust in Allah, creates an invisible wall between you and your rizq. When a person depends entirely on their own efforts, skills, or connections while leaving Allah out of the equation, they unknowingly limit what they can receive. Islam teaches that while effort is necessary, ultimate provision comes from the Creator, not the creation. Relying solely on worldly means often leads to anxiety, burnout, and disappointment. This is because the heart is not meant to carry the burden of provision alone. Tawakkul doesn't mean passivity, it means doing your best while wholeheartedly believing that the outcome is in Allah's hands. Without this spiritual balance, even success can feel hollow and unstable. The Quran reassures us, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him." Surah At-Talaq 65:3. When you trust in Allah, doors open from where you least expect. Help arrives in subtle forms, and challenges become easier to bear. Cultivating Tawakkul strengthens your heart, brings inner peace, and invites unseen blessings. Start by making dua before every effort, seeking halal means, and reminding yourself that Allah is Rizq, the provider. With sincere trust, rizq flows not just materially, but also in contentment and clarity. Rizq isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how much barakah fills your life. By avoiding these 7 common mistakes, you're not only protecting your sustenance but also nurturing your relationship with Allah. Even small changes in your actions and mindset can open the doors to blessings you never imagined. So take the time to reflect, make sincere adjustments, and trust in Allah's promise. If you found this video beneficial, like, share, and subscribe to Ascend Deen for more content that uplifts your soul and strengthens your faith. Let's grow in Rizq and in Deen together.